What's going on, everybody? There are a couple of problems to attend to on today's Miata slash Mustang Monday. I made a video the other day, kind of a short with the Miata. One of the heater core hoses blew off that, so I need to fix a coolant issue on that. But what's funny is I took my Mustang to work the week before, and I had it on a trailer, and one of the coolant hoses blew off on this. So stick around, and I'll show you what's going on. So the Mustang was pretty simple. It was just this coolant bypass hose right here. I got a new one on there, so all I need to do is top off the coolant, start it, let it run for a little while, maybe take it for a drive, all that good stuff. So I'm gonna do that, and while it warms up, I'll top it off, start it up. While it warms up, so I can burp it, I'm gonna take the Miata and pull it over here in the middle so that I can put the new coolant hoses on. So let's get the coolant topped off in this, and let's get this thing started. It's been sitting for about 6 or 8 days, so it might not be too happy. I'm gonna give it a good pump. We'll see if it'll go. A little more. We love that. So let it get good and hot. While this is warming up, I'm gonna bring the Miata over. So I don't know how much I'm gonna have to take off to get to this, but the coolant hoses is this one here and this one here. Now this one here is actually the one that's torn, and you're never sure until you're sure. It was hot the other day when I unloaded it, so for the first time today I finally stuck my hand back in there and I can actually feel the tear on it. But I knew it was a coolant line, so I went ahead and got both of them, and now I have to figure out how to get them off. Now everybody told me not to pry too much at this, that you might break it. So I'm like, okay, I'll take that into account. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna cut it off right here, and I might not replace this one just yet because I don't think the one that I have is long enough, and I'll show you what I mean if I can find. I set them down. Oh, here we go. This is the one that I'm talking about here in my hand, and if I place it where that goes, it's just, if it's long enough on the bottom, it's not long enough on the top, so I don't know. I may or may not change it. I'm here, so I might as well. We'll see. Might have to take the strut bar off. I'm gonna get it all apart and figure out what all I need to do, and then I will get back with you. I'll show you this real quick. There's the tear I was talking about. That was in the coolant line. There's nothing I could have done to stop it. But cut these off. I hope the lighting is doing justice. I'm gonna show you something real quick. When it comes to working on Miatas, I am of the approach that if it is in the way, take it off. The strut bar was in the way. The little air inlet thing was in the way. Once I got those out of the way, I actually had pretty decent access to get back in here to get to it. Getting it back on is gonna be a little bit of a worm. What I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a vice grip on the hose clamp here, and then butter it up with some soapy water and slide the whole thing on. I'll release the vice grip, and then I'll put the top. This one here, this other one, will be really easy. But that's another thing with these. It's perfectly safe to put a little bit of soapy water on them to help them sort of slide on so that you're not fighting them. I've also used WD-40 in the past if it's a fuel system or an oil system, but I wouldn't do that with coolant because I don't want to introduce any contaminants. Soapy water should be fine. Anyways, I'll get this back on there. And like I said, I'm gonna put the hose clamp over it with some vice grips, sort of slide it on there as a whole assembly, and then put it back up in the heater core. So yeah, there you go. Like I said, put a little soapy water on it, held these with vice grips and slid everything into place. I need to put a couple clamps back on. I'll put the strut bar back on, put the intake back together, and then I'm gonna go ahead and top off the coolant, start it up, and begin burping. All right, got some premix right here. I've already topped it off, but I've got some premix made up for it at about 60-40, and I'm gonna go ahead and crank it over and we'll burp the system. And now we wait. I think I got it all. Let's go for a ride. Is very stiff. One goes fast in a straight line, the other corners well. And you know what's crazy? I've wanted that for a long time. A Mazda Miata and a Mustang. I've had the Mustang for 14 years, but my first Miata was nowhere near as nice as this one. This one is obviously considerably nicer. But I'm gonna go ahead and wash both of them up. I'm gonna take the Miata all week. Good times. I hope you enjoyed it. I realize it's kind of a different video, but you know, just seeing what I can put out for a Sunday video while I have time. I was already doing it, so why not? If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave us a like, leave us a comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, I ask that you go build something and be easy.